How you doing out there, stargazers? I am Un, and this is the grand finale to I Played a Thing, Phantasy Star. We've got all the best gear and all the required plot items, so we should be ready to launch into the endgame. Let's get right down to it. We finally filled our 5th save slot last time with Sky, so we'll boot that up and reappear at the top of Bayamale Tower, all set to climb up to the roof. So climb up to the roof we shall. Rather nice view, but there isn't much else to it. However, you may remember that the Aero Prism is supposed to let us see another world, and that Lassic lives beyond the clouds, and there are places in the sky that even spaceships cannot go. With all that information, you put it all together, and you come to the conclusion that the Aero Prism is what you need to use here. Alice raises Prism towards the sky. A vision of a celestial castle appears in the sky, or appear in the sky as they put it. Pretty nice digs that Lassic has. Now then, how to get up there? Well, hold that thought for a moment, because I think we've got a couple of fights coming up where it's a single enemy without particularly good evasion, so I'm gonna put that Laconian axe on Odin. Not entirely sure that this is a good idea, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Now then, the question of how to get up to that celestial castle. Well, another thing you may remember we were told is that if certain cats eat a certain kind of nut, they become huge and can fly. It's really quite weird. Well, it is weird, but it's awesome, and it's also correct. So, Maya, feeling a little peckish? Maya ate the nut of Laerma. When Maya eats the nuts of Laerma, he becomes clothed in flame and emits a blinding light. Oh shit, did we just set the cat on fire? When he is visible again, he has been transformed into a beautiful winged beast. Maya flaps his wings proudly. Oh, Maya, don't you know that pride comes before a fall? Well, no matter that. Let's get a move on. Maya, you're making kind of a wacky sound effect there. Just thought you might want to know. But our journey to the air castle is not uninterrupted. We've got a gold dragon to contend with. Now, every MP we can save for the final big battle is going to be precious, so we are just going to beat this guy down with physicals, and I don't think his evasion is too fantastic, so that's why I have the Laconian axe on Odin. We'll see how that works out. Fortunately, the gold dragon doesn't have too much in the way of special abilities. It can self-heal once. At least I've never seen it do it a second time, so beating it down with nothing but physical attacks should be pretty doable. Okay, good hit from Odin there. It did dodge Noah's attack, but Noah seems to be a little less accurate than most characters, so I'm not gonna sweat it too much just yet. His physical attack does do a respectable amount of harm, but it's all he has, and since he's not using any abilities that take people down even faster or hit more than one person in the party, we got him on the ropes. That is, assuming he doesn't self-heal on this turn. There it is. Well, only 82, so he doesn't have too much left in the tank. And that Laconian axe is working out pretty well. Oh! I have never seen that happen. Well, captured on camera for the first time. He's kind of doing a number on Noah. I'm not sure I like that too much. Well, can't be helped. I kind of wish you weren't hitting the same characters over and over again and spreading out the damage a little more, but what can you do? Alright, Odin not only does well with the Laconian axe here, he gets the last hit and the gold dragon is killed. Nice XP too. And that puts us on Lassic's Air Castle, which is actually rather nicely landscaped. Houses too. Interesting. Not much to say from the old gentleman here. I have to wonder if this is one of the cult members that Lassic was given the armor by that turned him evil. Either that or it's someone he's got brainwashed and working for him. Well, we don't really know, but those are my guesses anyway. Don't believe your own eyes in the depth of the dungeons. I'll try not to. More ... dots? Just a couple more houses, and then we'll check out that big mansion in the middle. Don't go against Lassic. Well, we've kind of been doing that the whole game, and it would be a hell of a thing to stop now. And in the last house, we have a serpent. Very minor enemy at this stage of the game, but this is the only time you'll ever see an enemy in a screen with the house graphic, so I guess that's kind of cool. You can go back in there and fight the serpent again if you have maybe a need for a few extra XP or whatever. I don't think I'm going to be bothered with that. I should note that it would have been a very good idea to bring along a transer. You can get stuck here if both Mayao is dead and Alice doesn't have the MP to cast Fly. So, Mayao being at double-digit HP, we're going to be a little extra careful with him and go ahead and feed him a burger right now. I do actually have Alice pretty close to a level, so I'm going to fight reasonable combats until Alice levels up, and after that I'm going to be mostly avoiding combat. This dungeon is pretty simple, but I can still get lost in it because I could get lost in a walk-in closet, so let's go ahead and bring up the map. Okay, looking good. First thing we'll be doing is going all the way up to the corner, then hooking around to the left, and that should take us down a floor, I believe. What we're going to be doing, in effect, is going down one side of a dungeon divided into two, and then we'll be coming up the other side of the first floor. And we're going out to the main section here. Hanging a left, and then hooking around, and that should be the next stairway down. Very good. No combat so far. The encounter rate's being very gentle with me. Okay, we're gonna go up to a T-intersection, take a left, and that corridor will bring us down to the next stairway. Oh, finally an encounter, but unfortunately it's not one that I want to tangle with. One Androcop I would go ahead and fight. Two of them I think I'll call discretion the better part of valor. Okay. Now then, where am I? Okay, we are going to follow the corridor until we have a branch to the left. We're going to take that branch to the left, and then we are good. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think we are on the deepest floor. Let me check my map and confirm that. That does appear to be the case. So this floor is just one twisty passage that is going to take us to the other half of the dungeon that we'll be climbing back up. That's a lot of HP. But you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. We should get some decent XP from this guy. Hopefully he won't get too many hits in. And if we're lucky with Noah's Laconian Axe, he'll get some good hits in. Good job, Noah. Not such a good job, Noah. Okay, he didn't hit very much. 30 XP, not too terrible. No point in opening chests at this stage. We really have very little use for money. So I'm just gonna continue along on my way. Hopefully not get myself in too much trouble. That wand is gonna be a lifesaver in the very last stages of the game, and red slime, wow, are you ever out of your depth. Well, we can certainly beat these. And if they're able to hit, which I'm somewhat skeptical about, they won't hit for much. Actually, lots of weak enemies here would be a wonderful thing. At some point we're going to encounter a mid-boss in this dungeon. Not sure exactly where it comes up, but... Oh, there he is! Speak of the devil. I have watched all your actions. Attack me now if you dare. And this is the Shadow. Specifically, it is supposed to be Lassic Shadow, but in practice, it's just a palette swap of Dr. Mad. Once again, we need all the MP we can get, so I'm just going to go ahead and kick the crap out of him. And his HP isn't super high, I don't think his evasion is super high, so just like the Gold Dragon, we should be okay, and he doesn't even have a self-heal. Did some respectable damage there to Noah, but Noah does remain rather squishy. I think we're gonna need to heal him up pretty soon. Don't want to go too heavy on the burgers. Oh, 1 damage to Odin, very nice. Yeah, definitely don't want to hit the burgers too hard. But fortunately, we're getting him down pretty quick. Just like the Gold Dragon, the worst he can do is attack someone in a given round. No special abilities, no spells. And the Shadow is now killed. Pretty decent experience. I'm but only Lassic Shadow. Even if you defeat me, you've gained nothing at all. Except another fight with a red slime. That is something I've never seen either, is a wandering monster appear directly on the Shadow's spot after you beat him. This is apparently an episode of firsts. But I like encountering red slimes here. We get some XP from them. Oh, Alice got her level. Excellent. So from here on out, I really don't need to fight any wandering monsters. We don't want to run the risk of Noah dying, so I'm going to go ahead and feed him one of my last 2 burgers. That doesn't entirely thrill me, but, well, we gotta do what we gotta do. That's not even up to get him into the hundreds, so you better believe I am going to be avoiding combat from here forward. Unless it's red slimes, which I can't even be arsed to break out the wand for. Yeah, I got no reason to fight you, buddy. No one else is likely to gain a level anytime soon, so the XP really aren't gonna help. If I'd planned on doing any more leveling before the end, then that would be one thing, but I really do not plan on doing that. Or I should say, I hope to not have to do that. I did a couple trial runs of the endgame, and I was 2 for 2 on succeeding with my current levels, but they were kinda nail-biters, so it might be somewhat dependent on whether I get good rolls. I want to give it a try, though. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and all we have to do is level up a little off-screen, and give it another try. Okay, we are now headed on the upward path. Let me get my map out again. The second half of this dungeon, going upward, is a mirror image of the first half of the dungeon, and you may recall that was not terribly complicated, but again, it's still enough to get me lost if I don't take it seriously, so take it seriously I shall. Okay, we're gonna make a right, and then just follow the corridor. Okay, we are going to just follow the corridor until we get to a passage on the right, then we take the passage on the right, and that'll lead us straight to the stairs. So far, so good. If I didn't have Alice's level yet, this is the kind of fight that I would be doing. But I did get the level, so I won't. This is one thing that can be irritating about skipping out on random battles in the late game. When you get the high encounter rate sometimes that the game likes to throw at you, you can spend a lot of time running back and forth in the dungeons, just escaping over and over again. The game seems to want to back up my assertion there, because it's currently doing it to me 3 times in a row. Not sure I'm a huge fan of that. Okay, if that happens a 4th time, I will be most upset. Okay, good. Okay, where am I going this time? I want to point myself to the west, which I think means turning this way. Let's check that compass. Facing west. Excellent. So we are going to turn around, take a path toward the inward. And that, if I am not mistaken, enough with the wyverns. Okay, as I was saying, this should bring us up to the 1st floor. Yep, the door indicates that. So, we are going to turn right here and just follow the corridor to its end. And then, big things are going to happen. Yep, magically locked door. That tends to indicate important things are being held behind them. So, let's go ahead and use that last burger. Actually, how is Noah? Out of 143, yeah, he needs it the most. And I think I'm going to allow myself to use a couple of casts of Mayao's Cure Magic, because he doesn't really use MP that much in combat. He'll be on healing duty, but, yeah, I think we can probably get away with it. We're gonna have him heal, because again, if he dies and Alice is all out of MP, then we're in trouble, and Alice is going to be using her MP. So, Mayao, if you would kindly heal yourself. And how's Odin? Odin's HP is down some, but not really critically. So I'm going to save. Alright. HP totals are not quite where I would like, but we're going to give it a shot. Miracle Key. Alright. Here goes nothing. Ah, my children, you have done very well to come this far. You are very lucky indeed. Do you really wish to kill an old man? This, as you might have guessed, is Lassic, and what we answer here doesn't really affect what happens afterward, but I will go ahead and do a save state just so we can see his reaction to both answers. Let's say we do really wish to kill an old man. Alright, then we will forget this as an unfortunate mistake. And into combat we go with a unique music track. But let's see what happens if we say we don't want to kill an old man. Even now you try to fool with me? You shall repent! So he seems to actually like it a little better if we do say we came to kill him. I guess he appreciates honesty. Anyway, Lassic has decent evasion, so I'm not sure that going with the Laconian Axe on Odin is a great idea here, but we're going to give it a try, and to eliminate evasion as an issue, otherwise we're going to have Alice cast her fire spell. Maya, we're going to stand by for healing duty right now, because we don't know what exactly is going to happen. So we'll just have him attack, Odin also attack, And Noah, we're gonna have cast Wind for best possible damage against a single opponent. Okay, that dodge is not good sign. And here we see what Lassic is capable of. He will do that every round, hitting every character in our party for pretty good damage with the Thunder Spell. I'm not sure if that's the normal Thunder Spell or one that's unique to him. It seems to do more damage than when a Wandering Monster does it on us, so it may be kind of a tweaked version of it, but I couldn't tell you what's under the hood. One thing that is important to know here, this is why you need the crystal. If you have not gotten the crystal from the Soothsayer Demore, then every one of Lassic's hits will be a one-shot, and since he hits everyone in your party every turn, that means the first time his turn comes up, all 4 of your people are gonna die, so that's it. Unless there's some real skullduggery you can do, like a glitch exploitation or something, there's no way you're gonna finish the game without that crystal. So I hope you found the alternate way up Bay MLA before you came here. Anyway, more magic from Alice, more healing from Mayao. Hopefully a hit from Odin this time, and Noah, do what you do. Okay, we did get a hit from Odin that time. That's a plus. Okay, his HP is very slowly dropping, but dropping it is. More fire, Alice. Maya, you better damn well heal yourself, otherwise we could be in a world of trouble. Odin, keep it up. Noah? Oh dear. Okay, I'm not real delighted with the way these things have gone. Mayao is now dead, which means I've got to be careful with Alice's MP, so we're just going to have her attack. Odin, do your thing. And Noah, we are out of burgers, aren't we? Yes, we are. So I am hoping your wind attack comes up before Alice's, otherwise you're going to drop and we're going to be in real trouble. Good job, dude. Good hustle. Oh wow, Noah tanked that attack really well. Yeah, Lassic's evasion is a little better than I expected. So, we are probably going to have to repeat this, and when I do, I'm putting the laser gun on so we can get a reliable 20 damage from Odin every round. That's Noah down. Hey, we could still pull this out. Or not. Oh wow, Odin didn't take nearly as much damage as I was expecting there. Now if we can just get one more hit on him before both of our people drop, because he could very easily drop Odin. I think Alice can maybe tank one more hit, but will we be able to hit him? That is the burning question. The answer is no! Odin is down. Alice has very poor HP. Whoever gets the next hit in is going to decide it. We are all dead. Alice's hope cannot overcome the power of Lassic. That's really directly accurate this time. The adventure is over. Well, we're not going out like that, are we? Okay, lesson learned about the Laconian Axe. Let's put that laser gun back on Odin. We used all our burgers already, right? Yes, we have. Okay, we didn't really have a whole lot of time to spend healing there, so I'm going to have Mayao cure Odin, get his HP up. How much is Alice's max? 200. Okay. Hopefully Maya will not have to do so much healing in the next attempt that his MP run down prematurely. But really this looks like it's going to be a damage race, since he's hitting everybody every round. So I think we are spec'd out as best we can with the HP available to us. Let's go for it. You bet I do. Alright, I like his enthusiasm. I think he's been looking forward to the final confrontation. Now let's do your fire thing. Maya, just whack him. Odin, shoot him. And Noah, blow him away. Did he just do 0 damage to Alice? Well, apparently he saved all that damage for Noah, because holy shit, Noah just got reamed. Yeah, he managed to hit Alice for nothing. I'm seeing a lot of first-time events here. But Maya, you better be quick on that heal for Noah. I don't know that he can take another hit. And we do not want to continue this fight without his wind damage. Beautiful, Maya. Nick of time. You would think, being the wizard of the party, that Noah would probably have good magic defense, but that does not appear to be the case. We have to make damn sure we keep Maya healthy if we're going to have Alice continuing to use the fire spell. So we're going to give him healing priority. This may end up being a bad choice, but we'll find out. Whoops! I used the fire spell instead of wind on Noah. That was thoughtless of me. I think I still had myself in an Alice mindset. Okay, our third and fourth party members are in a big hurt right now. I'm almost certain one of them's gonna die unless we manage to burst Lassic down before his turn. So let's see if we can do that. Or at least if Maya can get his healing off on one of them first. Okay, let's go for that wind, Noah. Lassic is killed. Lassic has died. Alice accomplished her wish. Nero is satisfied now in heaven. Hurry to the governor. Ah yes, the governor of Montavia did mention that he wanted to see us after this was all done. But let's just pause for a moment and take a breath. The dictator of the Algol star system, and the murderer of our brother through his guards, has finally been slain. Perhaps peace can now return to the star system. Yeah, I had you going for a moment there, didn't I? You don't think it's gonna be that easy. We can get out of here easily, though, by use of the flute. Well, that just goes to show what a difference that the right rolls and the right turn order, couldn't find my words there for a moment, the right turn order can do for you. We went from a full party wipe to absolutely no losses. Sweet. Let us hope our luck continues as we proceed into the endgame of the endgame. Now, I could actually use the nuts here anywhere on the air castle. I didn't have to walk back to the entrance, but it is my habit to do so, and it gave me an opportunity to do a little talking for a while. Maya ate the nut of Lairima. And this time he's gonna set us down right by Caminite, which is very handy because we could certainly use a quick stay on Suelo's couch. It would be awesome if anyone had more things to say now that we've done away with Lassic, but unfortunately I have not been able to find any townspeople dialogue that's changed at all. Again, this is a pretty primitive early RPG. And it just occurred to me on my way to the spaceport that I forgot to stop in at the shop. Yeah, we're gonna need to head back and do that because I'm gonna need more burgers. Last video, there was a recommendation in the comments that I could sell the ice digger, get some money, and free up a slot in my inventory. I have no further use for the ice digger, so I think I'm going to do that. I have enough money to buy a fair amount of food here. I think as much as I can carry. But we can free up the inventory slot, and that's just as good. Okay, now I know the last one has to be the second-hand shop. And we do get a very respectable 50% resale value. Okay, dude. I want one of those, like, slider attaché cases that they sell at White Castle. Can you give me one of those? Alright, the individual burger equivalent thereof. That'll be just fine. Alright, we are full of burgers. And we haven't even eaten any yet. So then, to get to Motavia, we're gonna have to swing over to the spaceport. Not because we can actually get on a ship there anymore, but because we need to go through the manhole and find our way back to Gothic. Anything we encounter here should be thoroughly trivial. Hey, Hapsby, guess what we just did? To Uzo, my good man. Oh, one thing I should mention that I find a little strange is that it is not possible to sell the Land Rover. You can get rid of the Ice Digger, but the Land Rover has to remain in your inventory. The people at the second-hand shops will not accept it. And I find that really kind of odd because the Land Rover is much less necessary than the Ice Digger. You'd never even have to buy it in the first place. So, you would think that the Ice Digger would be considered more of a key item. Oh well, never mind. We have to go report on our victory. And the Land Rover at least will make that a little more convenient, since we can just, skip right over the Antlion Bank here and make our way back to Paseo. Make way for the heroine. Well, no more robots guarding the tunnel to the governor's mansion, which is good because I don't want to have to go through the dungeon and buy another cake. So, before we head in, seems like a good opportunity to save, just in case. We'll drop that in Medwa. Alright, Mike Hager, guess what we just did? It has something strange. Where is the governor, I wonder? Huh. Apparently something happened here while we were away. Well, fortunately this is a very simple dungeon, but as I mentioned with respect to Lassic's Air Castle, even a simple dungeon can get me lost. So, pulling up the map. Actually, 2/3 of this dungeon, now that I look at the map, is 100% linear, so I don't think even I could get lost here unless I just got turned around and went in the corridor the wrong way. Hopefully not even I can be that navigationally impaired. Dungeon key. The governor seems to keep his basement locked up pretty tight. What could be down here? I mean, we beat Lassic. What else could there be to do? And that is indeed what we're supposed to do. Until we get to the lowest level, we're just looking for pit traps to fall through. And my back is up against a wall, so we are not going to be able to avoid combat here. Fortunately, I should have enough burgers for such situations. So we'll go ahead and fight this giant physically and heal up afterward as necessary. However, when my back is not up against a wall, we're going to be avoiding combat whenever possible. Because, as I mentioned, there's no one except for Alice, as of the air castle, who is ready to gain a level, so really there's no hope of anyone really gaining a level here. All that can happen is have our resources drained, and we don't want that. Hopefully the encounter rate will get a little less insane as we move along. And I could telepathy my way out of this fight, but we have the wand, so that's really not necessary. And I do not want to spend Noah's MP. Now this dungeon is one big spiral. It starts out at its widest and it spirals inward as we go along, pretty much making it the longest floor possible. The red dragons seem to keep beating us to the punch here. Damn it! If you don't have a spare wand going into this dungeon, I feel for you. Because if the encounter rate is as much of an asshole to you as it is to me, then you are going to get into a lot of fights along the way, lose a lot of HP, and have to do a lot of healing. And that's bad, as this final dungeon is very simple, but as I mentioned, it goes for maximum length in the second floor, making it something of an endurance gauntlet. You could always try running away from combat without the wand, but that's always something of a crapshoot and can result in you taking a round of unanswered damage. As you can see, even with the wand, it can be a little bit of a slog. You know, I can only expect so much out of a late 80s RPG, but one thing I kinda wish they did with the Androcops was allow you to use the talk command on them, and then they would say some kind of hostile or warning thing to you and proceed to try and kick your ass anyway. Because as it is, if you use talk, chat, or telepathy with them, it just says that you can't understand each other. And I suppose they may not have been programmed to speak the normal Palman language, but I think it's a little bit of a lost opportunity to have the android cops cursing you out. Even though it exploded in my face, I am really glad I picked up the miracle key, as well as the extra wand, because that's another very good way to conserve MP. I think we are now rapidly approaching the center of the spiral. And yep, that's our not stairs down. Now, this level does something very sneaky. We come out of where we... Oh dear God, am I glad I'm not backed up against a wall. 5 180 MP enemies. Wand, wand, wand. And hopefully not too many of them will get their hits in before my turn comes up. Good looking out there, Maya. Now, as I was saying, when we come out of where we got dropped off by the pit trap, the rest of the dungeon floor is just a big square. It's a loop, with no obvious way out. And the game expects you to make a very sneaky discovery, which I will show you in a moment. So we are just going to go to the opposite side of the loop. And when I look in this direction, you can't see anything along the right wall, can you? That's because the first-person dungeon graphical engine here doesn't show doors on the side of the wall. It always has you facing toward a door before you find it, except here. So I think... let's get away from this guy first. Hopefully before he casts thunder on us. Okay, a staff bonk, I can take that. Now, as I was saying, I think we need to go 3 steps in, then turn to the right. Door! I don't know how the hell you could be expected to find that. If I recall correctly as a kid, I had to call the Sega helpline about this. And that's just going to take us on one final short corridor, although one that, once again, has high-powered enemies in it. High-powered enemies that get their hits in. But once we complete this short linear corridor, we will find ourselves in front of another magically locked door. Now let's do a quick HP check here. Alice is down 6. I think we can leave that alone. Maya is maxed out. Odin is short 11. That's not too bad. And Noah is short 10. I think we can go ahead with that. This final battle is probably going to be something of a nail-biter, but that few HP I don't think are going to make all the difference in the world. Our final opponent has very high evasion, so I'm going to be using as little physical attacking as possible. To that end, I'm going to keep Odin with the laser gun, because 20 reliable damage per round, just like with Lassic, is the best way to go here. And we'll put that under Eep. And here is our final foe, Dark Falls. Now, 2 things about this guy that are kind of interesting. First is, if you look at his face, you may recognize that as the succubus that we fought when we were sleeping at the governor's mansion. And 2, Sega cannot really decide what this guy's name is, at least in the English-speaking countries. In Japan, it's probably more consistent, I couldn't say for sure, but in Phantasy Star 1, he's Dark Falls, in Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4, he becomes Dark Force, and in Phantasy Star Online, he's back to Dark Falls again. I should also note that, from what I hear, I can't confirm this firsthand, but from what I hear in some of the Japanese supplemental materials, his name is rendered as Dark Phallus, as in, like, a dark wiener. I can say that in Phantasy Star 4, the final dungeon has an enemy called the Pro-Phallus, a professional wiener, I guess, that looks exactly like a mini Dark Force / Dark Falls. So take from that what you will. Anyway, we don't know why he's here, or why we have to fight, but fight we must, and this one's gonna be for all the marbles. Now again, physical attacks are something we want to pass on to the fullest possible extent, so Alice is going to cast Fire. Maya will just have attack this round because we don't know who's going to need healing. Odin will attack because that's really all he can do. And Noah, just as before, is going to focus on the wind spell for as long as he can. Alice takes the first hit and it's a big one. And Odin takes the second hit and it's a huge one. Alright, you've seen one of the quirks to the Dark Falls fight, which is that he can attack twice per round. Or at least when he's in good shape, he can attack twice per round. See, there's a hard limit on enemy HP in this game, which is 255, but they wanted to give Dark Falls more than 255 HP. So, for purposes of Odin's laser gun, he's one monster, for purposes of spellcasting, he's one monster, but behind the scenes, he's basically two monsters taped together. So, until one of them dies, then he will get 2 attacks per round, and when he starts attacking only once per round, you know you've got him on the ropes because one of his monster instances has died. Alright, Maya, your good buddy Odin needs a lot of help. Okay, Maya didn't take too bad a one on the chin that time. Alice, on the other hand, got monstrously fucked up. Holy shit. As you can see, there is a huge amount of variation in the amount of damage he can do with any given hit. Well, I know who Maya's healing this round. Hopefully he'll get that off in time. Excellent. That was a pretty big hit to Maya, and we have to keep our healer healthy. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to keep everyone else healthy. So, Maya, make sure you take care of yourself there, friend. Noah's got a couple more wins in him yet. Oh, shit. Oh, that's bad news. Okay, our healing has now been dropped to burgers, which we will have Alice consume this round for sure. Alright, Odin, you do what you do, and Noah, you do what you do. Our chance of surviving this battle just dropped a lot, so I am guessing this first attempt is not going to work out. And he is still attacking twice per round, which means he's still got plenty of HP to chew through. Not good news. Alright, Alice, you dash off a fire. Odin and Noah were gonna have healed themselves. Actually, Noah has become somewhat less important here. After he uses his last turn, after he uses the last of his MP, he's really not going to be contributing to the battle. So I'm going to go ahead and toss off fire for him, and if he gets killed, he gets killed. And he is still doing 2 attacks per round, and that is not a good thing. Okay, Alice can still do a little bit of fire. Odin can still shoot, of course. And Noah, I guess, might as well try to heal himself because there's not a whole lot else he can do, and we still have a very good burger supply. Big hit against Odin. Okay, I don't think Alice can cast fire again. We are going to have her attack physically, which doesn't work very well in this fight. We'll have Noah keep healing, so hopefully he can spread out some of the damage. Alice got a hit, that's a good thing. But Noah has been dropped, so we are down to 2. However, I noticed that Dark Falls only did 1 attack that round, so he's hurting. This is going to come down to the wire. Yeah, attacking him with physicals, unless of course it's a gun, that's going to happen a lot. You wouldn't think some big, ugly, clunky demon would have such high evasion, but oh, does he ever. Okay, either we're gonna plink him away the last couple rounds with a laser gun, or else he'll get a lucky hit or two in. Again, this is gonna come down to the wire. This is actually a lot closer than it got in any of my test battles, so I'm interested in seeing how this is gonna play out. Oh, and you may have noticed that in combat, characters can only use a burger on themselves. It would be nice if they could use them on each other, so you could get the big damage dealers with their hits in, but unfortunately the combat system does not work that way. Odin down. Alright, this is going to be a very near thing. Alice has a major disadvantage here in that she cannot hit this guy very easily, but he's gotta be hurting now. Even after his attack number dropped to 1 per round, he's still taken a couple hits since then, so he can't have too much left in the tank. Alright, go Alice, go. Oh my goodness, she just held out for 2 damage against him. Really nice. That one was not so good, and he got a dodge in, which is very not good. Oh, do I try for one last glorious hit, or do I pop a burger? We go for the hit. Oh. Well, we did sort of overcome the power of Lassic, but we did not overcome the power of what's beyond Lassic. Let's give that another try. As you can see, it is definitely doable. I kinda ran into some trouble early on there where when Maya got unexpectedly dropped early in the battle. If I can avoid that, I think I've got a very good shot at this. Okay, our game plan was respectable there. Didn't quite pull it out in the end, but I think it's worth sticking to. Anything Maya could really do to help here? I don't think so. As the only person using physical attacks is Odin, and I don't think help can help his gun. So we'll just have him attack in the first round. Whew. Alice, on the other hand, tanked that like a champ. She is one tough lady. Now, hopefully we're not going to have a repeat of the earlier incident in which Maya dies incredibly quickly. He does seem to have a hate on for Maya this battle. And I should note I really like the music track for this battle. Quite possibly my favorite music in the game. Wow, 2 hits on Alice there, and she's still in the triple digits. Very impressive. But we will definitely want to heal her. Maya has been absorbing some serious pain this battle, but it doesn't seem to be bringing him down too bad. Odin, on the other hand, got royally fucked up, and hopefully we will be able to get him healed in time to keep him from dropping. because there is no way he's going to take another hit and live. Uh-oh. I think she's got one more fire spell in her. We definitely want to prioritize Maya here, because Noah is nearly out of MP, and he will not be contributing to the fight for much longer. Okay, he's still going for 2 attacks per round, so he's still got a fair amount of HP left across his 2 instances. Alice is now down to physical attacks. Maya, we are going to try and heal before he falls, because he's still got a couple of heals left in him. Odin does what he does, and Noah will try and get him healed up, just so we can spread out the damage a little as necessary. Okay, attacking Alice, I am cool with that. Oh, and he only got 1 attack that round, so he is starting to hurt pretty good. Who do I want to heal? Alice, in any case, is going to have to attack physically, no question there. Maya, I think, is going to have 1 more cure spell in him. We will put that on Odin, because he seems to take the nastiest hits. And also because he's a reliable source of damage moving forward with that laser gun. And we'll just Burger Noah again, because someone else to take the hits, always handy. Let's see, does Maya have enough MP left to cast Help? Not enough MP. And I'm pretty sure that eliminates Cure. Can he cast anything useful? I don't know if Terror even works on Dark Falls. I kinda suspect it doesn't, so let's just have him attack physically. Odin, shoot him. Noah, I guess eat some more. Good job, Alice. Okay, we've got everyone in fairly okay shape, or we did until Noah took that hit anyway. Yeah, as long as we can land some hits in the next couple of rounds, I think we're in good shape. Ha! Dark Falls is killed. I'm sorry, I must have been possessed body and soul by evil. Alright folks, pardon the harsh edit, but the whole Dark Falls and Governor-turned-evil thing kinda comes out of nowhere, and I wanted to take a moment to address it. However, in the heat of the moment, I forgot all about it during my real-time commentary, so here we are in post. So the first big question is, who is this Dark Falls, or Force, or Boner, or whatever? Well, this game won't really tell you. Phantasy Star 2 expands on Dark Whatever as a sort of corrupting elemental evil, going so far as turning your party members against each other in its boss fight, but it isn't until Phantasy Star 4 that we really get the full story. In brief, it turns out there's an even bigger sealed evil with a major grudge against the Algol system, and every 1,000 years, a piece of this entity's hatred escapes the seal and takes shape in the world as Dark Force with the intent of destroying Algol. As I mentioned, we see in Phantasy Star 2 that Dark Force is very capable of corrupting people's minds, and Phantasy Star 4 goes even further with this, showing that it can possess machinery as well. So, my theory about Dark Falls in Phantasy Star 1 is that the cultists that sucked in Lassic with the promise of eternal life were Dark Falls worshippers, and Lassic became a pawn of their god. Phantasy Star 4 explicitly depicts Dark Force as a figure of reverence among the subvillains, so it's entirely plausible that something similar happened here. Once Lassic is dead, Dark Falls goes searching for a new pawn, and since the Algolian throne is now vacant, he goes after the next best thing, the Motavian governor. For whatever reason, possibly that the governor's corruption was not yet complete, Alice and company then fought and defeated DF rather than his new puppet, marking the end of this cycle. Mind you, this is all conjecture on my part. For all I know, they just wanted a big monster at the end and pulled one out of their ass like Necron in Final Fantasy IX. But if one reads between the lines and refers to the Phantasy Star sequels, I think it holds up pretty well. Your mileage may vary, and as always, I welcome your thoughts. And now, back to the ending. I'm sorry, I must have been possessed body and soul by evil. You rescued our world just in the nick of time. If you had come any later, it might have been too late. We all thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Alice, your father was once king of Algol. That's news to me. The Dark Castle has been destroyed. Lassic killed. Do you, Alice, wish to ascend your father's throne and become the Queen of Algol? Once again, what you answer to this makes very little difference, just a line or two of dialogue, but once again I am going to save state so we can see both answers. If we say yes, then you are the very queen of the entire system. I will assist you in all ways possible. But let's say Alice doesn't want to be queen. She wants to keep going on adventures. We're not going to become the Queen of Algol. No? That's fine if you so desire. You will always be welcome here. The sky gradually clears, and the peace is returned to the Algol system. A gentle breeze caresses Bayamale. But does the breeze knows of the hardships that they endured? Alice. Odin. Noah. And Maya. Even though the memories of evil fade away, their names will be kept in the hearts of the people of the Algol forever. And a lovely group shot to close things out. Well, that, as they say, is that. A few notable names in the credits dungeon there. There was Phoenix Ri, of course, Rieko Kodama, who had leadership roles in this game as well as Phantasy Star 2 and 4, Phantasy Star 3 being the oddball, and was also in a lead role for Skies of Arcadia. There was also the aforementioned Osael Kota, someone using Mayao as their pseudonym, which is kind of cute. Bo, the sound guy, who is Tokuhiko Uwabo, who worked on many Master System games, and Mu Yuji Naka of Sonic fame. Well, that actually went a little more roughly than I was anticipating. Again, during my test runs, I was 2 for 2. Did not have any party wipes, and this time I had a party wipe on Lassic and Dark Falls, but in the end, everything worked out. And for my money, that razor-thin party wipe against Dark Falls the first time was pretty enjoyable. Anywho, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star. A worthy classic, quite possibly the best-looking game of its era, and a neat little story. It's been quite a while since I last played through this game, and I have greatly enjoyed revisiting it, brought back a lot of memories, hopefully it did the same for some of you, and those who are new to Phantasy Star, I hope you enjoyed getting to know it. However, all roads must end eventually, and our road through Phantasy Star However, all roads must eventually come to their end, and so goes our road through Phantasy Star. As always, I want to thank you very much for joining me. And if you're a patron at the $3 $3 or more, and if you're a patron at the $3 or more level, I highly encourage you to head over to Patreon and vote in the patron poll to determine what the next long game I do will be. In the meantime, I'll find a short game or two to... In the meantime, I expect I'll find a short game or two to clear the palette between... In the meantime, I expect I'll find a shorter game or two to clear the palette between longer projects, and I hope... In the meantime, I'll be finding a shorter... In the meantime, I will most likely find a shorter game or two to cleanse the palette between longer projects, and I hope... In the meantime, I'll be finding a shorter game or two to cleanse the palette between longer projects, and I hope you'll join me for that as well. Until then, I remain on, and that's game, Hendrix. Until then, I remain on. Until then... Until... Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a classic and quite possibly the best-looking game of its day. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and... Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and quite possibly the best-looking game of its day. It's been quite a while since I went through this one, and I really enjoyed revisiting it. Brought back quite a... God. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and quite possibly the best-looking game of its day. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. I've really enjoyed revisiting this one. It's been quite a while, and going through it again brought back a lot of good memories. I hope for some of you out there it brought back some fond memories as well, and those of you new to Phantasy Star, I hope you enjoyed... And the... Yo 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 yo. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. It's been a long time since I last played through this one, and I've really enjoyed revisiting it. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. It's been a long time since I last played through this one, and I've really enjoyed Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. It's been a long time since I last played through this one, and I've really enjoyed revisiting it. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. It's been a long time since I last played through this one, and I've really enjoyed revisiting it. Brought back a lot of... God damn it. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. It's been a long time since I last played through this one, and I've really enjoyed revisiting it. Brought back a lot of good memories. I hope that for... Fuck. Well, that, my friends, is Phantasy Star, a true classic and one of the best-looking games of its day. It's been a long time since I last played through this one, and I've really enjoyed revisiting it. Brought back a lot of good memories. I hope that for some of you it brought back some fond memories as well, and for those of you new to Phantasy Star, I hope you enjoyed getting to know it for the first time. But all roads must come to an end, and so goes our road through the Algol system. As always, I'd like to thank you very much for sharing the journey with me. By the time this video goes live, the patron poll for my next long LP should be complete, but first I'll be finding a shorter game or two to cleanse the palate between longer projects, and I hope you'll join me for that as well. Until then, I remain and that's game, Hendrix. Today's Dark Follies have been brought to you by Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo De Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Alicia Goranson, Megasaurus, DG Jono, Doug Russell, August Fortnight, Patrick Bellinger, Rob Lyons, Andy Kurland, Jarogue, Martin Schowenmakers, Mayo the Hedgefox, Hildegard Argelmach, IGV, Jazel, the Literary, and the very kind support of other generous patrons. Thank you all very, very much, and thank you everyone commenting, subscribing, and just plain watching. As they used to say on the new Scooby-Doo movies, couldn't have a show without you. Take care everyone, and I'll see you next game.